how to become a successful woman in business. And specifically, I'm going to talk about some methodologies that stop you women from leaving a ton of money on the table. Get ready. Specifically, we're going to talk about three things. What does it take to be a successful woman in business? I've been a woman in many male industries. Now, Grant Cardone says he can 10x you. I'm going to 20x you women. So let's go get your running shoes on because we're going to have a lot of fun 20xing. I mean, why wait for 10? And the most important person you got to put on your team. You can tell I'm like super excited about this. Got three big things to talk about. So first of all, what does it take? Well, it takes a lot of energy and attitude. So I start with that because a lot of you come to the party, women, you do this to yourself. And I'm just going to pick on you for a while. I'm a woman, so, I'm having compassionate criticism. You come to the party, say, I'm just a beginner. I'm just this. You have this amazing, like women must have it ingrained in their DNA. I'm just. They start with a disqualifying qualifier about who they are. I'm a beginner. I used to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody needs to know that because what business owners want to do is do business with other successful people. So be that person. Now, I don't like the fake it till you make it. I think that's BS. Don't ever say that. I want you to act as if. So 1996, when I was given the opportunity to be the master distributor of the Cash Flow Game with Robert Kiyosaki and Sharon Lechter. And by the way, Sharon's my financial mom. I'm her financial daughter because we just have an amazing relationship. And we do that very intentionally because so few women mentor other women that have gone like way beyond the path. So if you want to be a millionaire, multimillionaire, make hundreds of millions of dollars, which I have done in my lifetime, then I'm your mentor. You just don't go to your girlfriends and say, what should we do together? So I, straight out the gate, 17 years old, got my first mentor. I knew I wanted to be in business. I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I did what I knew. And I can tell you my path is very indicative of what you need to be doing. So I did what I knew. I was in the gym all the time, and this is literally my first company. And I either needed to get a job or I had to figure out how to supplement the rest of my college. So I was in the gym all the time, and I watched people following other people around. And I went to the owner and I said, what are they doing? And I thought it was odd. He said, oh, they're called personal trainers. This was 1983. This was just a few years ago. I said, how much do they make? He said, oh, about 40 bucks an hour. I said, I'm a personal trainer. I said, put me on the list. I take clients all day. And he loaded me up with clients. And then I put a little ad in my local Lincoln, Nebraska paper. And my gosh, I got so many clients. I had to go back to my basketball team and I had to hire a whole bunch of other people to help with all the work I got. Now, I didn't do that out of any strategy that somebody said, go leverage and, outsource. I didn't know how to do it. I just knew we were not going to say no. So notice there's an energy as a woman that you've got to come to business and act as if you are the most successful person there. Well, guess what? At 17, I became the most successful personal trainer, not because I was competing, right? In women, you always look side to side to see if you're better or worse than another woman. Just stay ahead. Like, treat it like an athlete. I always say be your PB, your personal best. So it wasn't about me making more money than them. I just knew I wanted to do it and I knew I did better work. And I want you to comment below. How many of you women out there know you do better work than your competition? But because of your energy, your attitude, and the way you're approaching it, you're like getting less than clients. It's all on you. So then fast forward, 24 years old, I take a huge, let's see if I can make it. And I applied to an ad in the paper to work for Chevron. And I said, well, I really don't want to work. I have my own company and I want my company to work for your company. So it was a contractual relationship where I was hired by Chevron to build 272 fitness centers on the offshore oil rigs. I couldn't have jumped into a more male-dominated world. So I packed my little car up, I sold my contracts in Nebraska, and I zoomed down to New Orleans, lived in the French Quarter, flew offshore, and worked offshore on the oil rigs, working with mostly men. And you just toughen up. And this is where women, you got to know your value. And this is part of the 20X. Because if you don't know this, you won't get the model I'm going to tell you when I say 20X it. You got to know your value. You got to know you're good and not arrogant, not cocky, no ego. Like, you just know you're darn good. Like, I know I am best in class. Like, there's nobody who teaches what I teach with money. There's nobody who's going to give you your cell phone when you become a mentoring client. There's no one who's going to connect with you and make sure you get your stuff done. I just know that because I've been in, I don't know how many other mentoring programs. Very, very connected. In fact, I'm criticized by a lot of my male counterparts. Why do you give everybody so freely your phone number? Everybody knows it. I said, because there's rules of engagement. And everybody has a lot of respect, but you have to teach that. Back to you women, you got to come at it not with sassy energy, not with I'm going to combat, not looking side to side. You're best in class, you're confident, you know that what you do is high value, and you know people need it. Those are all like critical. Do people need what you have? If the answer is yes, then you got to like present to high value. So when I did the whole, Chevron thing, flying around, right? I knew when the guys, kind of gave me a rough time and said, I'm not going to do all your fitness stuff. I said, then get off my rig. Like I had no tolerance for being bullied or any of that kind of stuff. I just knew what I was there to do and I did it, right? Brilliantly. Fast forward, became a millionaire in 1999. But in that time, like in 1996, when I took that opportunity with Sharon and Robert, I remember Sharon looked at me and said, do you actually know how to, do this game? I knew I wanted to be done with Chevron. And here is the big lesson. If you women don't have enough of your own stuff to sell somebody else's stuff. So I sold the Rich Dad, Poor Dad brand and actually 18 other brands for years, like almost 5 years. I sold other people's stuff. So there's a couple lessons. Just begin. Be best in class. As best you know today, get started. Don't wait for some day where somebody's going to wave a magic wand and say, oh, you're now finally brilliant. Just know you are. And not cocky, just confident, and go forward in it. And don't back down. Now let's talk about pricing. A lot of you women, you're not paid what men are because you don't negotiate. I can guarantee you I am paid more, if not the same, way more than my male counterparts. Why? Because I stand in and I negotiate. And a lot of you are just so thankful somebody hired you. So why? I charge the same rates that a lot of my male counterparts, sometimes higher. I do a lot of that. I'm that woman, the contrarian on International Women's Day, where media calls me and they say, what do you think about women being paid less than men? I said, that's the woman's fault because you don't negotiate and you don't stand in it. You're just so happy you got it. Men constantly push for higher pay, higher pay, higher pay. Women, you don't do it. Why? That's on you. And don't say that the salaries are different. They're not. Anyway, back to business as you. As the woman in your business, how do you want to 20x it? Let me just give you one thing. Women tend to back down from sales way before men do. Men stand in sales like it's just a natural skill set. And women, you're like, here's your closing line. If you're interested, call me. That's not sales. That's chicken. Like, come on. You got to say, if you want what I have, this is what it costs. This is how we begin. Do you want to sign a contract? Here you go. Here's your wire. Here's your money, however you want to do that. But be as strong as they are. So here's how you 20x. You double your sales. We say, well, that's simple. But no, think about this, right? Let's just break down sales. So let's just say you have 100 buyers, right? So say there's 100 people that bought a $10, $20 item from you, which by the way, I'd rather have you have 100 people buy a $20 item than one person give you 100 grand. Why? Because now you have one person with 100 grand. Once you blow through that, what do you have? You're not building a database. So I want you to have, say, 100 people that have bought from you at 20. Now you can go back through and you can sell those 100 people something for 200. Then you can go back to those people and you can sell them something for 2,000. And then eventually 10, 12, 15,000. Let's just say that you go out and talk to 1,000 people to get your 100 buyers. That's a 10% closing ratio. I want you to write this down. However you want to write this down, document this, right? Because I'm talking about closing ratios. And men do this in their head. Women have to be taught this. It is not natural to them to think like this. So in your marketing, you got to look at your conversions, right? So if you're out talking to 1,000 people, however you do that, you're on Facebook, you're here on YouTube, you're on TikTok, you're however you're doing your marketing, and 100 buy. That means you have a 10% closing ratio. So a lot of times women will just keep working harder and getting more thousands and thousands. What you're missing is why don't you go inside the 100 buyers and instead of only selling 10% more, here's how you 20x, you're actually going to just double that. So you say, well, if I actually double my sales, and it actually statistically works out that further down your funnel, you actually are going to 8 times your top revenue and 20x your revenue, your overall revenue. So I want you to focus on how many people you talk to. So it's a documented process, all of you ladies. You've got to document your data. And men typically just know how to do this. I'm just going to say, if you're a woman and you actually do more data analysis, great. But I am a data junkie. So how many people do you have to talk to before you get them to buy? And of your buyers, how do you get them to buy more? And I can promise you the first place I go if I want more cash in our company is back to the buyers. Now, you may have heard that in a lot of ways, but I want you to start tracking your closing ratio. If you can take those 100 buyers and move to 20% versus 10%, you have 20x'd. But if you actually do the math all the way down, you have a big, big ticket, 20, 30, 40,000. your revenues are crazy. Do the math. Do the math. Comment below and tell me how much more you could do if you are just willing to track your data. So before I give you like the gold, right? The one person you absolutely have to have. If you've enjoyed this, women, I love working with you. I want you to become millionaires. There's only 3% of women in the world that have grown by themselves without men, their own companies to over 1 million and multi-million. So let's go. 100,000's not enough. You know, a lot of women, they do business like to be the extra, you know, money for the family versus be the money in the family, right? I have a fun saying for you women: a man is not a plan. Now I'm married to an amazing Canadian and he's so lovely, but he is not my financial plan. So ladies, like, step up, you're brilliant. So I want you to share this video. I want you to subscribe. So when you share it, you have to tell your friends to come back and subscribe so we can continue conversations. You're gonna make comments about what you're doing, how you wanna help, and I'm gonna come back and do videos and we're gonna rock it. And you're gonna 20x, you totally can do this. Now, let's talk about the number one person that needs to be on your team. I'm gonna say it a little funny, but it's me. Yes, you need a mentor. So you might find another, you know, women mentor, but you need a women mentor. And I'm going to be specific. If you are a single parent, I am one of the few, I know, multimillionaire single moms. So if you are a mom and you are got to figure this out, I'll help you figure out how to get home help. How do you do travel help? How do you do this? I have done it. I got a 21, 14-year-old. I know how to do it. I share it freely. So serious. A lot of you, you'll hire your friends because they don't charge you or you like to trade. Notice that men don't trade. Notice the weird things that you do to yourselves. Like, stop doing that, right? I don't ever trade. Like, no, you're going to pay, I'm going to pay. And if it happens to be the same amount of money, you're going to contract and pay, I'm going to contract and pay. There's something about that just conscious exchange versus this casual exchange, right? There's just a complete difference to it. A few other things I want to put in addition to getting a great mentor, is a principle that I do all the time. It's called R&D. Now, a lot of you immediately go to research and development. Absolutely not. You're going to replicate and duplicate. See, a lot has been done. And you women think you always have to start from scratch, right? You got to start at the beginning. No, you don't. Somebody's done close enough to what you want to do. You want to follow them meticulously. You want, like, those are speed techniques, I call them. So in addition to, you know, 20xing your sales, I want you to do speed techniques. Like, if you need a contract, guess what? There's probably a bunch of other contracts out there. Why don't you go get a contract from somebody else? Change it. I mean, websites. I don't know how many people, especially you women who are perfectionists, oh my gosh, you take forever to get copy for your website or what you want on your website. Here's a fast technique, and I do it with my books too. And I'm like an old-fashioned bookstore person. So I'll go into a bookstore and I'll look at the category that my book's gonna land in, and I'll pick like the top 5 or 10 books, especially if they're New York Times. I'll buy them, I'll lay them all out, and I'm going to take the best of the best. I'm going to say, what has already been written and where's the gap? I'm going to write differently about it. I want you to go out and find websites. Find the top 5, 10 that you love. Print off some of them, have them looked at, like, look at them. And I know that I do a lot of print stuff, but there's a visual cue that changes your memory and your mind. You want a visual cue of seeing it all, then you can see the gaps and you can see the changes. You can say, so what's in the website? What do I like? What do I not like? I've done that literally where I circle things. I want my website to look like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. Hand it to somebody, they make it look beautiful. Replicating and duplicating is going to create speed and ease to your world. So here's what I want to do. Most women love my Millionaire Maker, but what they really love is my Yes Energy book. And how do I live with Yes Energy? And I do a whole formula. So what I want to do is give you a free copy of my book. I'm actually going to autograph it, but here's what you got to do. You got to pay for the shipping and handling. So in the description below, you're going to click on the link. It's going to take you to a form. You're going to fill out your information of where you'd like your book shipped. I will personally autograph it for you. And then we're going to ship it out to, all you have to do is pay for shipping and handling. Easy peasy. And then really dissect that formula in your life and where you have breakdowns. Where do you feel strong? Where do you feel like you need to get some more help? Yes Energy, by far, women love it. Let me know. Come back to this channel and comment so I know what you liked about it.